Hey everyone, it's Ventus, and since today is April Fool's Day, the day of trickery and trolling, I wanted to share some thoughts about some potential features they could add in Fire Emblem Heroes, particularly, and appropriately, related to something that our resident trickster god does very well: costumes and cosmetics. So a couple months ago, I did a longer video talking about the game going forward, potential features and events that they could do, changes, and all that kind of stuff. This is going to be a little more compact version of that. It's basically some ideas that I wish were in the game because, I think they should add more ways to play the game. So first of all, let's start off with character costumes. The ability to customize your units with cosmetics. I talked about this a little bit in the previous video, but I feel like this is probably a good opportunity to revisit it, bring in some extra details, and add a little bit more to what I previously said. So if you know me, you'd probably know that I'm always an advocate for character customization. Why? Because it's fun. It's a way for players to personalize their characters. Now, to be honest, I didn't really care much for it in Fates. The character customization in that game was pretty forgettable, mainly because I think I like to focus more on the gameplay and strategy aspect of the game. That always takes priority to me. But it was an option, and people who enjoy that kind of stuff, they could do it. In other series, like Pokemon, Splatoon, I absolutely love the ability to customize your character, especially Splatoon, because the player character is your avatar. It's the player's way of interacting with the game world, the story world. And if everyone looked the same, then that'd be kind of weird, right? I think Fire Emblem Heroes could really benefit from a system like this. It's a crossover game. Anything goes. The lore really isn't that important, and it's more about being able to have fun with your favorite units. It's basically the perfect opportunity for you to dress them up however you like. Right now, the only way to dress up your character is through limited edition units of the character. Now, while this is definitely fun, it's not the most accessible way for players to customize their units. Mainly because they're not really customizing their units. It's not character customization. It's technically alternate classes for the characters. What if you don't want to use Sharina as a Green Tome unit, but you still want to use her in a bunny costume? Or what if you want to make your units look really stupid and have them wear Ryoma's lobster outfit? How about slapping Legion's mask on your entire team? All of us. Since the game is sprite-based, it's really easy to mix and match costume pieces and create a variety of unique looks for your characters, whether they're cool looking or just simply ridiculous. These cosmetic effects should have no impact on your units aside from appearance. Being able to dress up characters and have them appear in arena, castle greetings, rival domains, and any other features where you can actually see the characters is an optional fun game mode, if you can even call it that. But the question is, how will players be able to purchase these character customization options? Well, the obvious one is through orbs, or real money. It's an excuse to monetize another aspect of the game. But it also has to be made readily available for free to some extent. So this brings me to the next topic of currency. Now, this is another issue that I talked about in that longer video as well, but I'll bring it up again because it's related here. Not going to talk about it too extensively. Specifically, the currency I want to talk about is arena medals. This is probably the worst currency in the game at the moment. We get too much of it, or at least we have near limitless potential to generate it. And it's only used for one feature in the game, Weapon Refinery. And this isn't a feature that can even be spammed, because we're still gated by Refining Stones and Divine Dew, which is hardly available to us, even after all this time. So we have an excess amount of this currency in the game. It'd be really great if arena medals could be used elsewhere. Cosmetic features that don't impact gameplay could be a place to dump them. It beats adding a new type of currency altogether to a game that already has a bunch of random, often unused or situationally useful currency. There's no need for more clutter. Seasonal cosmetics, let's say bunny outfits for Easter, can be given out during events, which is a way to encourage players to continuously play the game. Or it can do login bonuses. Maybe after 10 days of logging in, over the course of the event, you receive a costume on the final day. Premium cosmetics are also an option. Costumes with more effects and animations, instead of just simply reskinning the character or adding on a mask or something. None of this is mandatory, of course. It's just simply there for fun. We've gotten a few game modes recently. I think the most memorable ones are Rival Domains and Tap Battle, although the latter is pretty underwhelming, to be honest. But aside from those, it's really just the same old combat content, like the Blessed Garden stuff. Crossover games should provide a variety of ways to play the game and to customize aspects of the game, since the idea of crossover is a type of fan service. we should be able to channel our inner Loki and have fun with the features in the game. If this type of feature is added, and again, another one of those things I talked about before, in the future, although your summoner can't be seen, if they do decide to add your summoner as an in-game sprite somewhere, it would be fun to be able to customize that as well, because this is actually your avatar character. And of course, if you're not into cosmetics, there should be a way to turn this feature off. So in the settings, you can turn it on, off, or make it ally only, where cosmetic effects are displayed fully, not displayed at all, or only displayed on your team, respectively, just to have the options available. Now, the second topic I wanted to talk about is closely related to the first one, and it's the idea of weapon reskinning. Most of the weapons in the game have little cosmetic value. You just kind of see them, and then that's it. Some of them look pretty cool, some of them have cool animations, but most of them, they're pretty generic or boring. Again, this is also something that I did bring up in the New Year video. I'm not going to get too much into that, but it would be great if we could somehow change up the appearance of our weapons as well. This would definitely cause some confusion for newer players or players who are unfamiliar with a lot of the animations and the weapons, but it's nothing that can't be fixed. Again, you can turn the feature off altogether if you want to, or you can make it clearly displayed when you highlight the weapon. So tap the weapon and it shows the actual weapon name and the effects. These are definitely required, but it also shows the weapon that is visually appearing. So if you go into Arena and you see Oliver showing off his beauty and he's holding a giant egg, but you don't know what the egg is, like, oh, what is that? You can highlight the character, check the weapon, and it says, oh, it's Hyujin's egg. In the original weapon, let's say he's using the Blue Raven tome. It's still being displayed. You still know what it is. You still know what it does. You still know how to prepare for it. But he's holding an egg. That'd be pretty cool, right? And let's say that animations are on. You turn the animations on, you go into combat. Oliver will use Hyujin's egg with the Hyujin's egg animation instead of the Blue Raven animation. But the weapon's stats and effects will still remain. It's cosmetic, right? Doesn't matter. It's just the appearance. So how this feature could work is all you need to do is pay arena medals and you can reskin your weapons. But the catch is you have to have a unit that already has the weapon to make a copy of its appearance. So once you pull a unit, let's say in this case, Katria, the bunny version, all weapon options available at the rarity that you pull them at will become a blueprint. That way, they still get your dirty gacha money, but you get a little bit extra now in case you want to customize your units further. And if they're feeling nice about it, they can give out blueprints for these weapons during events as well. Again, fun features, fun options. Finally, I want to talk about a more gameplay-oriented customization feature. Replica weapons. I think this is a largely foreign topic for a lot of players, but in some games, they do offer replica weapons that look and act like powerful weapons, but are essentially like a toy or model version of them. For players like myself who don't necessarily play the game too seriously, but still enjoys the strategy aspect of it, replica weapons could add a new dynamic to the game. So how this works is, whenever you pull a unit, just like for reskinning, you receive a blueprint of their weapon. Blueprints require arena medals, just to make use of this garbage currency again, and then you'll be able to craft a replica of the weapon. For example, you pull Lucina. Well, Lucina's Falchion, the awakening version of the sword, will now be added to your database as a blueprint. Then, in the replica crafting menu, you can craft Falchion R and inherit it on any red sword unit. But there has to be a catch, right? The replica weapon, while still technically a weapon that you can use, will be significantly weaker than the original, because it is a replica after all. So instead of 16 might, renewal 2, and effective damage against dragons, let's say Falchion R is 0 might, renewal 1, effective damage against dragons when initiating combat and at 100% HP, and then you take 2 damage after combat. So basically, it's a cheap knockoff of the original weapon, but this knockoff can be used on any qualifying unit, any sword unit in the game. The system adds options for fun builds that can be used on any character, and in most cases, while it's not very practical, it's still functional. Now in some cases, it may be a little too powerful. For example, let's say you make Dire Thunder R, and let's say the stats on the replica are 0 might, -8 speed, and unit attacks twice when initiating combat at 100% HP and takes 2 damage after combat. But you have to think about it this way. Let's say you put Dire Thunder R on a plus attack Delthea. It's still going to be a really dangerous weapon because she has 39 attack. Plus attack Olwen with Dire Thunder equipped has the same attack as plus attack Delthea without a weapon on. She can hit 52 attack with Death Blow, attack +3, and Hone attack. So being able to use Dire Thunder R, despite it being a 0 might weapon with lots of drawbacks, it's still extremely deadly. So obviously there are some balance issues that need to be addressed if the system ever gets added into the game, but I don't think it's anything that's too difficult to address. Some ways that you can fix it would be to lower the might to negative values for certain weapons like Dire Thunder R, or after you use it once, you just can't use it anymore, instead of having the Feeeh effect, and then it essentially becomes a 0 might weapon that gives you -8 speed. Great weapon. Useful, just like arena medals. But once again, the point is to add fun features to the game, and for this feature specifically, it also adds potential build options. Here are some examples for some other weapons with various effects. Hugion's Egg, 0 might. The debuff is weakened, and even more situational. Valflame, 0 might. Debuff weakened as well. Cursed Lance, more situational, more damage after combat. Ragnall, situational distant counter. And of course the list goes on. Basically, that's what I wanted to share, some troll ideas for a very troll day. I do actually want these features in the game, and I hope that one day they do decide to add some less serious content for players to mess around with. Because there are a variety of different types of players that play this game. People who play the game for different reasons, they want to have fun for different reasons, they want to do various things that may not be in the game yet. This is just one of many features that I thought would be very appropriately shared on this day. So that'll be all then for this video. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time for more Fire Emblem Heroes. Have a nice day.